What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So this is part 2 of the video I did the last time about depression, and this time I'm going to be going into details about depression and how to overcome it in the most simplest way I can think of. Y'all see my face? I just did that. I just did this, okay? So, It's a chameleon, by the way. I don't know if you can tell. But, let me get this up closer. Okay. Alright, so, let's start with ways that you can identify depression. Okay, restless, like lack of sleep, overeating, not eating, consistent headaches, lots of overthinking, anxiety, what else is also overly emotional, because a lot of people who tend to be overly emotional are depressed in a way. Sorry. I'm so sorry. But yeah, so it's that. Those are just like the simple forms though, okay? There are a lot of other ways to also tell these things, but those are just like the main signs. Also, if you indulge in drugs and alcohol too, that is also a sign that you may be depressed. So just keep an eye out for that, you know. T. Sorry, y'all, that's my dog. Oh, okay. So I wrote down depression and how I see depression. So when I think of depression, the first thing I wrote was down, because I feel like I'm gonna put it right here. The first one is down, because a lot of us seem, like I said, to feel restless, tired, drained, like drowsy, real heavy, like drowsy. So down. The second part to describe depression is ending, because I feel like a lot of times depression comes around when there's like an ending of something, whether somebody's passing or you're moving, right? Or like just letting go of something. Nice, because I know a lot of people who let go of certain things because it caused them to go into depression. So ending, right? P, pressure. A lot of people go into depression because they have a lot of pressure on them, or they feel like it's so much going on in their life and they feel like they just can't handle it, and so they don't know how to feel, you know. So pressure is one of those. Like work, you go to work, they applying pressure. You come home, they applying pressure. So much pressure, you know, it can keep you down. So pressure. And then release. So I also feel like depression, when it comes to releasing, I feel like when you release certain things, like ending, right, release, I feel like it's when you need to release, though. More so, like, it's loud because the airplane's over here, y'all. But when you feel like have you ever had a lot of bottled up emotions and you just push them all down, never got them out, right? So that's where release is, where I see release. It's a lot of bottled up emotions that never came out. A lot of bottled up energy and things like that just you let go of, you know. And then endure. So endure is also like I would say for like pressure as well. You know, you have a lot of pressure, but endure, I feel like I see it more as pain. And when you have like a lot of trauma, like a lot of wounds that you haven't healed from, and you have endured so many inflictions that you never healed from them, so it makes it hard, you know, It makes it hard. And then I have S is self-reflection, because I feel like a lot of people are just trying to find themselves and see themselves in themselves, and they can't do that in a depressed state. You know, it's hard to see yourself when you're in a depressed state. So self-reflection. Also, I have some of the positive ones at the bottom. I'm not saying they're not all positive, but I'm gonna just go over all of it so then I can tell y'all why I wrote it the way I did. Okay, so then the other S I put is safety, right? So a lot of people don't seem to feel safe in a lot of environments. So, you know, that's kind of where like the anxiety comes in. Like, you don't want to be touched. You don't like being close to people. Certain type of people bother you. You know, like, you ever been around that one person that's just something about that person that just always bothering you? You just don't know why, but that one person always bothers you, you know, where you don't feel safe. Like, you don't feel safe. But okay, so then the I is integrity. So in a depressed state, you can also feel like you have a lack of integrity, a lack of confidence, a lack of self-respect. Like, not saying self-respect is like always like, oh, I did this and this and that, like I don't do this. Like, self-respect can be to a point where like you don't upkeep yourself like you used to, like, you know what I mean? So integrity, like, you don't feel as confident as you used to, you know? But it's not always because, you know, certain things. It could just be the wind of emotions, depression, right? So bruh. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, so the next one is overcome. I feel like a lot of times we have obstacles in our way, and to where like, you know, you feel stuck and you feel like you can never move past it. Like say you got bills, yes, is an obstacle. Like, you feel like it's hard to overcome. Like, dang, I can't catch up on my bills. Like, I can't do this. I can't do that. Like, overcome. Okay. Yes, overcome. When you feel like you can't overcome an obstacle, I feel like there's also something that leads to depression. I'm gonna just put this right here so y'all can see. And then at the bottom it says new me, right? So I feel like it's like when it comes to when people are sad and depressed, a lot of people want to overcome it. A lot of people want to change it. They're like, how can I change this? How can I become a better person? Like, how can I become a new me, you know? And so I feel like these are just things. I feel like it's a way to look at depression from another point of view, basically. Like, you know, because I feel like when we think depression, we think sadness all the time. But the same way these words are negative, they can also become positive. So oh, okay. So yeah, I put these quotes for people, like, whenever you feel down, whenever you feel sad, now put, these negative thoughts are not my own. Take a deep breath and see where it's coming from. Remind yourself, these thoughts are not my own. Take a deep breath, okay? See where they're coming from, because, you know, I had to learn too when I was sad and out and depressed that a lot of the thoughts that I was telling myself I got from other people. Like, I never really saw myself like this. This is just how other people saw me. So when I realized it, then I started to pay attention to the thoughts, and when the thoughts came, I switched them out for a positive thoughts. So say like I'm down and out, and I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna get through this. Instead of saying, oh, when I have a thought like that, when I have a thought like that, I change that thought and I say, you know what, sometimes I feel like I'll never get through this, but I know that I can and I will get through this, you know? Switch it up like that. Turn a negative to a positive, okay? Transmute the energy, okay? Redirect it, okay? So the positives, so I'm gonna go over this again because it's gonna be in a whole nother format now. I broke this down, as you can see, in the first stage. So I'm gonna talk about the first stage of depression. So the first stage of depression, down, ending, pressure. So I feel like this is like the beginning of depression when I feel like mostly like as a kid, it starts as a kid. Like we have a lot of pressure put on us as kids, like to expect to know things, expect to do things, to understand things that we probably never understood in the first damn place, right? So the first, like I said, the first 3 stages is where you're gonna feel down. You're gonna feel like it's like something is, like you're gonna feel down, feel like something is ending, something's over. You're gonna feel like a lot of pressure, about it, and that's okay. We all go through the stages. The whole point is to go through the stages. Don't ignore the stages. Go through the stages. Why? Because when you go through the stages, you will overcome it, right? Okay, so boom, down, ending, pressure. That's the first stage, okay? The second stage is release, endure, and self-reflection, right? So when you're first in depression, you're going to feel pressured, like I said, down, ending. But after you come out of that, and you say, how do I come out of that? How do I come out of being down? Feeling like my life is over. Feeling like I have so much pressure on me. You have to release it. You have to release it. I know what you're thinking, like, how do I release pressure? Write down 3 things that get you down, 3 things that make you feel like your life is over, and 3 things that you feel like pressure you the most, okay? When you do that, find a way, learn to redirect those energies, okay? So whenever you're feeling down, what's the first thought you think about, right? Switch that thought to something else. So the first thing I think about when I was getting down is, I don't want to be here no more. I'm going to switch that thought to, I don't want to be here no more, but I'm still here. And that's the positive, okay? Though I don't want to be here, it's a lot of times I don't want to be here. I'm like, Lord, why you couldn't make me a plant, a tree, a bird, something else, right? But I switch that, though, because it's times I don't want to be here. I tell myself, but I'm here. But I am here. And I am alive. And I am well. So, you switch that. And when you think about that, you're like, you're right, though, I don't want to be here. I'm alive and I'm well. And that's how you switch out those negative energies, negative thoughts. Also, pay attention to those people who give you those thoughts. I know a lot of people like, how do I know? How do I find the people who are giving me those thoughts? Pay attention to your surroundings. Who does this come from the most? So if you hear something all the time, who do you hear that from the most? Cut that off, okay? Tell them, like, we're not doing that no more, okay? That's another thing. You gotta start telling people and standing up for yourself and telling people, your negative energy that you've been throwing at me, I'm giving it back. I'm releasing it, whether you like it or not, okay? So, yeah. So then, once you're able to get through that process, you'll be in phase 2. And phase 2 is release, endure, and self-reflection. So within that, you're going to be able to release any old habits and negative thoughts. Now, remember that this takes time, so it's not going to happen right away. It took me about 4 years. Now, I know what y'all thinking. That's a long ass time. But it's really not. Because if you think about it, while you're going through it, you're slowly but surely letting go. You're slowly but surely coming out of that. And everybody's process is different, but don't rush it, okay? Because you want to make sure that you're releasing everything that needs to be released, okay? So, yes, so you're going to release. Once you do that, you're going to start releasing things, old habits, negative thinkings, negative people, and just breathing, okay? Breathe. And be able to breathe. I release. So anytime you feel like something negative is coming to your mind, you can always just, I release. You are in control of your own thoughts. Think about that as well. You are always in control. Whether you want to admit it or not, you are in control unless you have somebody else controlling you. And that's why I'm going to do a video on bots. Bot mentality, okay? So release and endure. So I feel like once you release, you will be able to endure the positivity and the negativity, right? You're going to be able to endure positivity while you're releasing negativity. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to, when you endure, you're going to be able to self-reflect, because now you're going on the inside. And when you endure, you need to ask yourself whatever questions you have in your mind. When you say, who am I? Write these questions down. Who am I? Why do I always feel sad? Where do my feelings come from? How is it that one minute I feel like this, the next minute I feel like that? You know? And I'll put that at the end of the video too. But yes, and then self-reflection. And that also deals with self-reflection. When you start writing down those thoughts and all those questions that you have, go back and fill them out. I don't care if it's 5 days after. Go back and fill them out. A lot of people be like, how can I answer these questions? Only you can answer these questions, honey. Only you can answer these questions. I can't answer those questions. Your friend can't answer those questions. Your mama can't answer those questions. Nobody can answer those questions for you but you. So you have to ask yourself these questions, and you have to go back and you have to write them down. This is my little journal. I got little pages. I might go back and give y'all some examples. Okay. So the next one is the third stage. So after you come out of that, you're going to start safety. You're going to start to feel safe again. Okay. You're going to start to be able to feel safe in a way to where you're going to be able to be around people. Like me, for example, I felt so unsafe. That's why I said I didn't say it, but I had a bad situation to where I was uncomfortable with people touching me. Like, I was just uncomfortable. I don't like, every time somebody touched me, I got uncomfortable. I felt like everything was in my mind, though. I had to realize the only reason I was thinking about that is because the world we live in is so sexualized. And so every time somebody touched me, every time somebody hugged me, I was like, oh, they want to be with me. Oh, they like me. Like, I had this weird misperception about physical touch, right? But once I overcame that, I got comfortable around people to where I can hug people and love on people without feeling like feeling like it's sexualized. Because that's another thing, y'all. Don't let this world confuse you, okay? Don't let this world confuse you, okay? Don't let it do it, because it will do it if you let it. It will do it if you let it. Y'all see this pain? I just cannot get over this. Like, I did it so good. Like, okay. But yeah, so yeah, safety. And it's most of finding safety within yourself. And whoever you pray to, if you don't pray to anybody, shoot, just pray. You don't even have to say thank you, Lord, thank you. Just for yourself. You know, because prayer works, and it's okay, so yeah, back to what I was saying. Prayer works, and it's a powerful tool that we all must use. I don't care where you come from. Everybody prays. It don't matter what religion you're in. This is for anybody, any religion, anyway, anywhere. Okay? Prayer, it works. I don't care if you just like, I've been going through it and I need help. I don't care if you talk to the trees and pray. Like, I don't care. I don't care if you just talk to yourself and say, I need help. Put it out there. Just put it out there and pray. Okay? So let me tell you, it's a lot of demons out here in this world today, y'all. It's a lot going on. I don't know if y'all noticed, but it's a lot going on. And I feel like it's so easy to get mixed up in the world that you lose yourself. Especially nowadays, it's so easy. People over abuse drugs, alcohol, sex, money, like people too, like everything. Like, and we have to stop overindulging in things like that. Sorry about that. But we have to stop overindulging in things like that, because when you overindulge, you don't know how to pull yourself back. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I tell people too, people might not like me for this, but celibacy is key to what you need. I'm gonna say it again. Celibacy is key to what you need. Why? Because it teaches you discipline, See, people look in the Bible and they see, like, I'm not a big fan, you know what I'm saying, of Christianity, but I do read through a lot of different things. And yeah, celibacy, it teaches you to be disciplined within yourself, you know, because when you're disciplined within yourself, if you can discipline yourself from sex, baby, you can discipline yourself from anything. You know why? Because sex is one of the most deepest attachments that you can have to something. Because when you connect with people, like they say, it's a soul connection. Whether y'all believe it or not, you wonder why you're getting these feelings you never had before after you left so-and-so, and you feel like you're still feeling so-and-so energy. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Still feeling like they in your mind, they in your thought process. Still thinking about somebody you left 5 years ago because you never let them go. And because you were overindulging. And people crazy. People crazy. So y'all be careful. Because people crazy. You don't want to end up in the wrong hands. Because trust me, the stories I done heard so far, you don't want to end up in the wrong hands. So be mindful, okay? And control yourself. I smoke, I drink. I smoke, I drink. But I don't overindulge. You know what I'm saying? And that's the key. So when people look at me like, oh, why you don't? I know my limit, okay? And I know what's for me and what's not for me. And don't let people make you feel bad for holding yourself back and having self-discipline because they want to go out there and drink until they pass out and piss all over the fucking floor. Anyways, sorry, I'm just saying. But yeah, so next is integrity. So after you get to that third stage, you're going to be able to feel safe and you're going to have integrity. Why? Because when you do these things, it's going to help build your confidence. It's going to help you build up your confidence, and you're going to be able to empower yourself more, you know. And this is when the daily affirmations will start to come in, okay? This is when you have to start telling yourself, I love me. I love me. You ain't gotta love me, but I love me, and that's a known fact, okay? And that's how you gotta be. Because when you're like that, can't nobody tell you anything about yourself when you know yourself, good and bad. Know yourself good and bad, okay? It's not always about the light, it's about the dark too. You have to know yourself good and bad, because when you know yourself on the bad side, you like, don't tip me, because I know. And then you have your good side too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you have to balance it. But once you do that, you'll be able to overcome challenges and things that come in your way, any obstacles that you feel like you won't be able to tear down before. Oh baby, we knocking walls down. And that's the whole point of this video, is to help people knock walls down. Wherever they feel like they suffocate and feel like they can't breathe, we're knocking the walls down, okay? And then when you do that, it's gonna be a whole new you, baby. A whole new you. And ain't nobody gonna be able to tell you about you but you, okay? And ain't nobody gonna be able to control you either. Because when you know yourself, you know what you tolerate and what you don't tolerate, you choose what energy's coming in and out your life, okay? When you realize that, I can leave any situation. Because when I realized, I was like, oh, baby, I don't gotta be here. Like, because sometimes we don't think about that mentally. I feel like a lot of times we just be going through the motions, but we don't think like, oh, I can leave this situation at any time. But because a lot of times we feel bound and stuck to certain people and situations. In reality, we were never stuck to them in the first place. They wanted us to be stuck to them. So when we let them attach themselves to us, and then we feel like we can't disconnect, you know what I'm saying? It's because we're in that mentality of, oh, I have to be here. I have to be here. But no, you don't. No, you don't. Okay? But anyways, that's all I have for this video today. I hope you guys like it. And as always, love, 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 love. Okay?